Hey, it's Andrew Priestley and welcome to another exciting version of Multiply Your Money. This is episode number 18 and I'm reading from a book called The Money Chimp. Here it is. Spend more, save less, get out of debt faster. And on the last episode, I talked to you about cradle to grave. I talked to, hey, there's Paul Conlon. Hi, Paul. I talked to you about how the Office of Statistics or the Bureau of Statistics in America and Australia, how they actually do a lot of planning and forward thinking by looking at trends. There's Carl. They look at a lot of trends, and from that they do planning. You know, this is how governments plan. That's why they have the Office of Statistics or the Bureau of Statistics, because they can actually anticipate, what populations will need going forward. But they also know a lot about how you behave and how you're going to behave. So I made the point that quite often what's happening in your life is actually quite predictable. Okay. Hey, there's Denise. Hi, Denise. Thanks for watching. Toss me some hearts, guys, if you like what you're hearing. I love seeing those heart things, those likes. So I'm reading from The Money Chimp, right? And so the Bureau of Statistics is a really good place to hang out, because for me, when I was researching this book, that I did a lot of looking in the Bureau of Statistics or the Office of National Statistics, and to see how people behave. There's some hearts, thanks. Oh, fantastic. Here's the point. These predictions, they're not fixed in concrete, okay? It's interesting to sort of say, well, okay, what's a 22-year-old going to do? What's a 30-year-old going to do? Well, right now we're gathering a lot of statistics around professionals and money, particularly by the banking sectors, and they're looking at information which shows up in charities like My Bank or in apps like My Money Dashboard, where they're using that information to come up with programs that are relevant to people around managing their money. Okay, but the point is, those predictions they're not locked, etched in stone. They're not cast in concrete. You can adjust around. But here's the thing: on average, it's like that. On average, it's like that. So we've come to that point where, if you've been having a look at the various videos that I've been putting out on how to manage your money, right? We're at a point where I think it's time to do a bit of a pit stop and consider what we've been talking about so far. And I've been talking about the top 3 trends, which is spend less than you earn, plan for the future, and make more money, Okay. I want to make this point really, really super obvious to you. Okay. Why do I say spend? Why do I am spending so much time on spend? What the research tells me, and I read a lot of books, it tells me this basic point, right? And that is, there are 2 types of people out there, right? Spenders spend more than what they earn, right? You've got to think about that. It's really, really, Paul's saying, I now have more cash in my wallet to the value of 1 day of my time. Fantastic, yeah, that's great. Spenders spend more than they earn. Okay, we know that, right? Investors spend less than their own. Investors spend less than they earn, and then they invest the difference, right? That's the key difference between them. You're either a spender or an investor. So if you're spending more than you earn, just straight up and down, your identity is a spender. The state that you come from is one of spender. If you're someone who says, I'm going to spend less and ultimately I'm going to invest the difference, then you're coming from an investor point of view. And I gave you the point about creating some financial buffer, a financial cushion. And I gave you a goal. I'm sitting out in this wind. I don't know about you've got this, but it's pretty windy at the moment and raining. But investors, I gave you the goal of putting some money aside into a financial cushion. And the goal was to have 3 months worth of overheads in living expenses, okay? Now, if you say, look, that's too hard, we'll get a month. Aim for a month's worth of overheads in living in cash reserves, right? And if you're not sure what that is, well, then bust that up into what's a day's rate. Bust your overheads down into, divide it by 30, and have that amount, and then get 2 days worth, then 3 days, then a week, then 2 weeks. But build it up, build that up, build those cash reserves up, right? Ideally, you want to have at least a year's worth of overheads in cash reserves. That's the goal, that's the big goal. I was chatting with someone yesterday who's been watching these videos, and they emailed me, and they basically took this approach. They looked at what their income was, and in their case it was around $26,000, and they simply divided that by 12, and that's what their goal is, to have in cash reserves. They want to have 3 months worth of salary in cash reserves put aside as a minimum. That's the target they're working for. Now, it might take some hard work and some thinking to make that happen, but that's a goal to work towards. Okay, just because we know what to do doesn't mean it's going to be easy to do. For example, I knew that when I got into, I've told you I got into some real financial issues many years ago, and you know, I actually took a second and a third job just to get myself out of credit card debt. Right, and once I had achieved that, I then set my target on having 3 months worth of money in cash reserves. Right, it was a lot of hard work, but I managed to do that, and then I never looked back after that. I started to build on from that. Okay, so I want to finish on this point. I asked you this question before: what is the purpose of managing your money? What's the purpose of it? Because all human behaviour is purposeful, right? Whatever you're doing, it's purposeful, even if it's stupid. There's a purpose to it, right? So the idea is to think, this is what I want you to do this weekend, right? Think about, what is the purpose of managing my money? And I've got some answers to that, but it's more important if you dig up with some answers to the questions for yourself, right? You know, what is the purpose, right? I mean, I know the purpose for me of having money was to avoid the consequences of not having money. So I guess I'm being motivated by fear and in the avoidance. There's something I wanted to avoid, right? But my purpose has now changed. Now that I'm very good at managing money, my purpose has changed. But right now I want you to think about, what is the purpose of having money? The purpose of managing your money well. Play with those questions today. And I'll talk to you, not tomorrow, because tomorrow's Sunday, I'm going to take a day off, okay? But I'll talk to you really soon. Don't forget, you can join the group. Hey Maria, join the group Multiply Your Money. I'll put the link below so that you know where to join. Importantly, tell other people who you know should be watching this, invite them into as well. Give them the link so that they can join the group. If you go to YouTube and watch the videos on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, because the more people who subscribe, the more apparently YouTube promotes it out, so more people do start watching, and I believe they should be watching these videos as well. Okay, so make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you join the, there's a thumbs up. Make sure that you join the Multiply Your Money group. If you've got kids, ask them to involve. Right now we've got 18 videos. There's a whole bunch of goodies inside the Multiply Your Money group. So make sure that you're in that as well. And inside that group you can take the free money quiz. Now, if outside of the group you've got to pay for it, but inside that there's a lot of treats and goodies for free in there, which are going to help you on this journey. So I'll see you then. Okay, see ya.